At the center of the discussion is how to create a unified framework that will ensure digital platforms, devices, and services are accessible to all, particularly persons with disabilities, while also making it easier for technology companies to operate across African markets. Now, with the digital adoption, acceleration, and cross-border trade under the African Continental Free Trade Area gaining momentum, stakeholders here for the last 3 days have been pushing for common standards to be positioned as a critical next step in building a more inclusive and integrated digital economy. Earlier on in the morning session, we had an interaction with various stakeholders who have termed this particular summit as key in enhancing Kenya, especially its technological ecosystem. Some of the takeaways so far is that the harmonization is seen as an enabler of scale. They say that a unified accessibility framework is going to reduce duplication in compliance, lower the cost of cross-border expansion, and create a predictable regulatory environment. This is expected to be very significant for Africa's startups, Kenya's included, with the digital service providers seeking to scale within the Africa Continental Free Trade Area framework. Another take-home from the stakeholders whom we had a conversation with before this particular final session is that they noted that accessibility is an economic driver, not just a social obligation. They argue that standardization is set to unlock participation from millions currently excluded from the digital economy, translating to expanding markets, deepening usage of digital services, and strengthening productivity across sectors. Last but not least, one of the expected outcomes from stakeholders therein is the need for coordinated implementation, pointing at fragmented innovations that are holding back Africa's innovation from scaling. The success of this particular coordinated implementation is expected, or rather will depend on how effectively continental bodies, national standard agencies, and ministries align on timelines, enforcement mechanisms, as well as capacity building and harmonization risks remaining rather than operational. So going forward, we want to hear what this particular session has, not just for Africa, but also for Kenya, in terms of an inclusive digital ecosystem, as well as the opportunities therein. I take you back to the hall, where we're going to have a listen in into this last and final session of the 15th edition of the Connected Africa Summit. To the MC now.
On helping those with disabilities to acquire digital skills. And to date, since 2009, we've trained more than 14,000 students who are blind or low vision. So I'm really excited to be here because as they gain these skills, they cannot use the digital products in the market. So what can we do as a country, as a continent, to come together? And we've started the process of developing Africa's digital accessibility standard. And the reason for this is because every country does not need a separate standard. Kenya already has one, which we developed together with Kenya Bureau of Standards. And the realization is that that standard is fit to be used across the continent. And we're not the only country that's doing this. European Union has one standard used across more than 27 countries. And the importance for that is to make sure that if you're selling your products in any market in Africa, the standard is the same. We do not want different countries to have different standards. And I keep saying, my mobile phone doesn't change because I'm in Nigeria or because I'm in Kenya. So that's the reason we are here today, to kick off the process of developing this standard. And my first question, and before maybe I ask my question, is maybe ask each one of you to introduce yourself, just briefly about your organization, and maybe we can start from the end coming this way.
Yeah, thank you very much, Erin. Ruben Gisore, Technical Director at the African Organization for Standardization. This is an intergovernmental body of the African governments based in Nairobi. We have currently 44 member states who are in our membership. Thank you.
My name is Atany Ayom, the Minister of ICT in the Republic of South Sudan. Thank you.
Well, my name is Angel, you already know. I'm the Secretary of State for ICT, Telecom and ICT in Angola. We are a governmental unit that responds to a Ministry of State, and the Ministry of State answers to the President. And we do have some initiatives regarding inclusion, and we stand already available to cooperate with Kenya regarding this issue.
Oh,
thank you.
Good morning. My name is Adam Medela. I'm from Chad. I'm the founder and CEO of Developing Capital Corporation, advisor on telecommunication sector and financial institution. Thank you.
Yes, and my name is Harold Msusa, Secretary for Information in Malawi, the policy holder for digital transformation and promoting digital inclusiveness in the space of economic development. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think, so first off, my question will go to Ruben from ARSO. And I have to say thank you so much for the partnership with Enable. We are collaborating to develop Africa's digital accessibility standard, as ARSO is the standardization body for Africa, and they develop regional standards. And as he mentioned, they do have 45 African countries as members of ARSO. So maybe one thing you can tell us is, what is the importance of a harmonized digital accessibility standard, and what is the process?
Thank you very much. As you indicated in the beginning, and I think the video was very informative, that you have a standard in Kenya. So the devices, if we are going to use that standard in Kenya, the devices will respond to the Kenyan environment. Now, Nigeria will develop their own standard, and it will respond to their own environment. So if you are going to visit Nigeria and you have a disability, then you are going to find that you can't use their devices. So we need to harmonize the standard so that the devices will be developed the same way, they will have the same features, so you don't need to change. Just as you said, you don't need to change the devices, you don't need to learn new techniques to use those devices. And therefore, that is the harmonization process that we do. You have one standard for the continent, for everybody, across the borders. Secondly, now when you go to the process itself, we make a call to all the member states, and when we made the call, right now we have 14 countries who have responded positively that they are going to participate in the process of harmonizing that standard. And therefore, the process that we will follow is a committee process, and this committee will bring experts from all those countries, and the experts will sit down, ensure that they can harmonize the standard, and that standard, when it comes out, will be having one number, one design for every device, every software that will be used by all our countries. And that will facilitate not just the movement of the people, but also anybody who produces these devices in any country can trade them across the borders. Thank you.
No, fantastic. Thank you so much for that. And thanks for mentioning mobile devices. Mobile devices in this continent are problematic. And I'll give an example. Julius can have all the technology skills he needs, but if the device itself is not accessible, if it was not designed and developed with people with disabilities in mind, it's not going to work for him. So as Africa is beginning to manufacture its own digital devices or import, this standard will really help in terms of knowing what is accessible. And right now, we are partnering with Google to really engage Android phone manufacturers to really, and other phones all across the board, to really ensure that their mobile devices are accessible so that any people with disabilities across the continent can be able to use the devices. No matter how inexpensive the phone is or how expensive it is, it should be accessible to all Africans. So thank you for that. So my next question will go to Malawi and Mr. Mususa. Africa is building a single digital market, So should accessibility be treated as a baseline requirement for all digital infrastructure rather than an afterthought?
Yes, accessibility should be built at first and not as an afterthought. I think that should be standard. In Malawi, what we have done is the 2024 Person of Disability Act is a legal instrument that mandates access and ICT and digitalization to have that as a mandate, that it should be for and can also be assessed by people with disability at all and in every of it. And also, what we are trying to do is that accessibility probably is also not only for the disability, but it looks at other, in terms of gender equality, in terms of the youth and the illiterate and the marginalized, they should also have access. And what we're doing as a country now is that we're trying to push digital accessibility to the rural marginalized under the World Bank. They've given us resources that we push digitalization to the rural areas, accessibility, and being able to digitalize, the public institutions and even the private institutions that are in the rural communities, that everyone should be able to have, access. So, and also for procurement, it shouldn't be an afterthought, but every procurement, the first thing that people should look at is that the gadgets and everything that we are doing in the space of digitalization, access for the disabled, population is not an afterthought, but it is a foolproof for a procurement to go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mususa. I think the one thing that you said that's really critical for everyone to remember is that if you address the issues of digital accessibility, if you make sure your digital products are accessible, they also benefit people who are older, people who are in low bandwidth areas, people who are illiterate. So it's very, very important. People who are colorblind and other areas. So it's not just people with disabilities, but the user experience of your products really, really improves for everyone. So it's important, and I'm sure when we talk about low bandwidth areas, each one of us is in a low bandwidth area at some point, for sure. So thank you for that. So I think we'll go all the way to Chad. Maybe we wait for a minute.
I'm going to speak in French. Oh, it's okay. Very good.
So before I move on, I want to recognize the Cabinet Secretary, Honorable William Kabogo. He's actually been a huge advocate for disability. He's supported Inclusive Africa Conference before. The last time I saw him, he was supporting us. And the reason we're here today is because of him. So I want to say thank you so much for this opportunity. We're just beginning the journey. We have a long way to go, but together we'll get to where we need to be. So thank you and welcome. Yeah, so we take a trip to Chad. Sorry, I know you've been waiting. How can we realize the implementation of this standard across Africa? Because I know we are many countries. We're trying to be a single market. And there's no way we are going to be an inclusive digital economy by leaving 80 million Africans behind. So what can we do to achieve that?
Well, thank you. Thank you for this invitation. And you asked me to speak in French to show the diversity of Africa, so I'll continue in French. Par rapport à cette question, je pense qu'il faut qu'on voit l'Afrique comme un marché global et non pas un marché régional. Malheureusement, quand on parle de l'Afrique, on parle de zones, c'est-à-dire soit l'Afrique de l'Ouest avec le Sénégal, le Ghana, la Côte d'Ivoire, le Sénégal, ou bien on parle plutôt de Kenya, Rwanda, et sinon l'Afrique du Sud que nous on appelle l'Amérique des Afriques. Du coup, je pense qu'il y a vraiment un marché régional. Il faudra qu'il y ait une collaboration entre ces États. Donc, moi, je suis du secteur public et je suis très content, privé, et je suis content d'avoir le secteur public et tous les
and I am here so that we may have a commitment together from the government and also from the level of the private sector. We need to have a collaboration between these particular countries, and I spoke of M-Pesa yesterday. We need to penetrate in the particular area, especially when we speak about the mobile money, especially in Kenya, which is a global leader. And why don't we just copy paste M-Pesa from wherever it is to where we are, so that we can also use it in Chad? I believe it has to be a very good Nigeria, because Nigeria is also working with 170 million habitat population, so I believe we can as well develop this particular market into African market. So I don't know if you got the just passive.
If you want me to translate, I can do it, no problem. No, I was sorry. I was just saying that we all keep talking about Africa as a continent, as a collaboration between African countries, but in reality they have small zones that you have Western Africa with the Ivory Coast, with the Senegal and Ghana, which is very, very developed comparing to Central Africa. And on the other side we have Kenya, Rwanda. And there is no real collaboration between Central African countries, Chad, Cameroon, Gabon, Centrafrique, with the other countries. From my perspective, it should be government commitment, and I'm very happy to see the decision maker here on political side. But as a private sector, we have to get more collaboration between our companies. You have the technology, we have the market, so I would love to see more and more collaboration between private sector in Central Africa with other countries. So that's why you can speak from Africa as a general hub and a general market. You have 54 countries. Each country has own regulation, his own market, and I guess it's the time, and I'm very happy to be here because we're putting the standard to start working collaboration between African countries.
So thank you for leaving me speechless. And thank you so much for translating. So I think you raised a very important issue about collaboration across Africa and how specific it is to certain regions. And I do believe that's a challenge that our cabinet secretaries and ministers should really be able to address so that we are able to move forward, as the theme of the conference is aligned to inclusive Africa versus, So I think that's an important issue we raise, because as we develop Africa's digital accessibility standard, what do we do to make sure that we engage all the countries? Because it doesn't matter whether you speak French, Arabic, English, that's not the point. We are one market, and technology affects us the same way. So it's important we figure out, and that's a challenge to me as well, as I lead my team, is to figure out how Chad, Angola, Senegal, all those countries are included. So when we meet in 2 years, hopefully I'll tell you a different story.
And you're welcome in Chad wherever you want.
Oh, thank you. Fantastic. So I think now we'll go all the way to Angola and speak to Honorable Angelo. I get fascinated by AI conversations because AI has totally transformed the world, even in just the last 6 months, the last 1 year, the last 2 months. And there's a lot of investments going into this space. The problem is we are still leaving 80 million Africans behind. How can we not look at this group of people and realize this is a market, an untapped market, and they contribute to the economy? Yet, AI, most of the AI solutions you see are inaccessible to people with disabilities. So what can we do to ensure that digital products being developed with AI solutions are embedding accessibility as part of it? But number two, how can we ensure that AI and automation creates jobs rather than replaces them, and also ensures that the jobs being created also are accessible to persons with disabilities across Africa?
Okay, Bridget. First, we need to start with our assessment. Each one of us need to assess the impact of AI. Either including or not, we need to assess the impact. And through that stage of assessment, we need to start by design, as my colleague from Malawi said. It has to be at the root of the assessment. When we check how many AI legal frameworks exist, when we design them, we need to take in heart the digital inclusion and the digital access aspect of it, first. Second, harmonization. At the stage that we all are in Africa, and we need to catch up, which is good, because we can learn from other countries' mistakes and improve our approach. In that approach, we should include the necessary framework, necessary tools, so we do not leave anyone behind. But before reaching to AI, we still have connectivity challenges, but at the root, if we design, if we cooperate, as my colleague from Chad is saying, stop having silos, become less formal, and call each other. No excellencies, no formalities. Listen, I have this challenge, and then we'll become united. And then AI is any other technology. Instead of taking jobs, will create jobs. Instead of divide us, it will unite us. Instead of weaken us, it will empower us to go and bring to our citizens the future of united market, prosperity, and security. This is our vision of how AI we should approach it.
Fantastic, thank you. I think there's a bit of work that we all need to do collaboratively so that we make sure AI solutions are inclusive to all Africans. Thank you. So we will go over to South Sudan, to Honorable Ayom. Thank you for being patient. As we move forward toward the Connected Summit Africa 2026 declaration, what specific measurable commitment is your country prepared to make to ensure that no African is excluded from the digital economy?
First of all, thank you so much for bringing me this morning. My friend Kabuku there yesterday told us we will not be having any functions today, but nonetheless, it's still the same. Yeah. Okay, it's the same. You know, when I spoke during the opening, when I came to the panel, I spoke about the South Sudan understanding of how it connects to other countries and collaboratively. And I gave the background of how South Sudan came to be what it is today. So when we talk about how we can work collaboratively and ensure that nobody is left behind, my understanding is on each country perspective. Our perspective in South Sudan, as I said earlier, that when we gained independence from Sudan on July 9, 2011, we did not have the old systems that we have to struggle with on how to discard it in order for us to begin the new page. We started fresh on a new page. So South Sudan was quickly acceding to all the conventions that are here in the world, particularly the AU and the UN and all the other charters that bring all the mankind together, and particularly cooperation within the African Union and within East African Community, IGAD, and you name them. So we are standing ready to implement, even if there is a place to implement the resolutions of the Connected Africa, 2026 in Nairobi. South Sudan should be one of the countries that will implement and bring all, that have been arrived at into implementation. But before we talk about how we connect, we also talk about the literacy rates that our country has. You know, South Sudan is not like Kenya and Uganda, whereby the people aged between 16 and above, you have between 80 and 85% of the population are literate. You know, they have literacy. They have some kind of a basic education. South Sudan, literacy stands at 34.5% of the whole populations. So if you try to digitalize, the digitalization will go actually discriminatively, and before you bring people to literacy. You cannot start by introducing them into how they should connect to other brothers and sisters from elsewhere. So we are actually working very hard to ensure that the literacy rate is brought at least to 50%, and this is a vision of South Sudan 2040, that South Sudanese by 2040, more than 50% would be literate. Now the illiteracy is still very high. That is why most of young men between 16 and 26 are engaging in cattle rustling, something that Kenya had in the 90s, but now not anymore, because Daniel Arap Moi education campaign that went, to the cattle camps and educate those pastoralists has actually worked significantly, and Kenya actually gained, got to this level of literacy. South Sudan is almost going to do the same. And to end, I want to say, in terms of working together, South Sudan has two money transfer, like money phone transfer, like mobile money in Uganda, and M-Pesa in Kenya. We have what is called Momo. Momo is run by digital. We are now working to ensure that if you have Memo in South Sudan in your phones, when you come to Kenya, you will be able to use it as like you are using M-Pesa. And also we have M-Grush. M-Grush also is a digital money transfer on phones that you can use even in the village, because you cannot use MasterCard in a village, because you will not even find a machine in order to pay for what you have actually paid for. So South Sudan stands ready to cooperate with our brothers and sisters in Africa.
Yeah.
And I think we are not going to be obstacles in this. Thank you. God bless you.
No, thank you so much. And thank you for raising the issue on illiteracy, because we have to understand that part of the continent, part of our users of all these digital products are not literate. So digital accessibility does address illiteracy. So it will be important to at least be able to participate. And thank you so much for your commitment. Each of you, 10 seconds, starting with Ruben. Way forward.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the discussion is very rich. We are looking forward to harmonizing that standard. In addition, we are grateful that we have actually started the issue of the artificial intelligence, and that was prompted by the kind provision of the initial text by Kenya. So we look forward to, harmonizing these standards within a very short time, so that the continent moves together very well. Thank you.
10 seconds.
Yes, let me say that our way forward is to ensure that all the governments, try to harmonize their legislations to commensurate with what the coming together means. And I think South Sudan is actually working towards that, and sooner or later we will be part of this greater achievement. I did not tell you about the 80 million. The 80 million, disables.
Mm-hmm.
South Sudan has an affirmative action that that considers women, because women are the marginalized or marginalized. And you know, we have 35% of women affirmative action, and we have 20% for youth, and we have 10% for disabled. So we are already seeing that, and I think nobody will be left behind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, 10 seconds. With the permission of the Honorable Minister, I will go back to the mandate that we got yesterday in a very important meeting with the President of Kenya. Let's return, let's advise, and let's commit to the declaration of this summit.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Well, in 10 seconds, I will grab the opportunity as all the decision makers are here. Please put your effort and all the resources on education to launch our own solution, digital solution, because for the moment in Africa, we're still using other products from other side. You're using their cables, you are using the technology, you are using the data center. I would love to stop to give Yahoo and email addresses. So launching data center on data center to talk about real sovereignty. Thank you.
Yeah, I think thinking and basing on the theme that we have, here, I should say that what is reflecting in my mind with what we are discussing is that our Western friends to date, they are not competing anymore who lands on the moon first. They've got an international space center where a Chinese, a French, an American, and a Russian, they are working together. It's high time that African continent, the continent and countries, maybe we stop to try to be the number one on this. I think we should just sit and start acting that we can work together, standardize things, open our connectivity, and include everyone. We just need to start plugging and playing things that one country has achieved and another has not. The rest maybe is no more, but the including and inclusiveness and working together becomes a must and should be a reality. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all our speakers. And before I wrap up, just 10 seconds. As you can see, every other country is represented apart from Kenya. I'm Kenyan, but I'm not government. So just a kind request to our Cabinet Secretary. First off, thank you so much for giving us the platform to talk about this conversation. Disability is always put on the side, but the reality is each one of us will have a disability at some point in our life. But my request is, today in Europe, in the European Union, you cannot sell a digital product unless it's accessible. They have the laws, the standards, everything. Today, Kenya has a standard that's going to inspire other Africans. We also have a Disability Act from last year. So my kind request to you is for your office to take this up and really create an impact on procurement to ensure that the government is investing only in accessible products. And I'll say this because most of the products you see in the market, even from the West, on that side, they're being pushed for the same agenda. So it's not something new. And if you do that, by the time we develop this standard, everyone else will learn from the lessons that you've learned. But most importantly, you'll be supporting the Africans with disabilities who've been left behind. So thank you so much for your time, and safe travels, everybody. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And even as we celebrate them, we are yet to also celebrate the launch of an AI for Disability project. So a big round of applause for them. And we want to also appreciate the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of ICT and Digital Economy. He's here, makofi yake tafadhali, applaudis s'il vous plaît. Thank you so much. Immediately after this, let's have the video ready. AI for Disability, in partnership with very critical organizations. The video, please. This,
One of the challenges is that we do not have sufficient data, especially for this particular pain point. Where do you get inclusive data sets?
What a better way to bring around inclusivity amongst every aspect of what we do, especially as far as technology is concerned.
There's a problem called dyslexic. Smart children, they can't read. If you walk them through the problem by talking them through the problem, quickly they understand because that's how their brain is wired.
These devices, they make things easy.
The advent of AI and other technologies, it's much easier and cheaper to build software and to build hardware that can be adaptive and responsive to individual users' needs.
Technology, if harnessed properly, can lower barriers for all people. For people with disabilities, it is even more critical.
We have Lugha Ishara, we have Ishara itself, which is an AI tool for sign language, and it's speaking that Sheng for young people, Sheng for sign language.
There are individualized solutions that need to be created rather than just a general product that has to meet everyone's needs.
We are working on the challenge 2, which is find a way to facilitate communication between caregivers and people with autism.
We're actually working on a solution that will aid the visually impaired individuals to interpret maps and other complex data sets.
We built a product called Ufahamu, which means understand.
Technology for technology's sake is not worthwhile unless it can really improve people's lives or the environment or our economies and our communities.
Wow. AI for disability. A big round of applause for the partners. And right now we want to take that memorable photo. I'd kindly request, before that, please put your hands together for the Secretary ICT, E-Government and Digital Economy, Ministry of Information Communications and the Digital Economy, Mary Kerema. Makofi yake tafadhali. Karibu sana. Welcome. Bienvenue.
Honorable Secretary, His Excellency Honorable William Kabogo, Honorable Ministers, Principal Secretaries, our Chair Lady of ICT Authority, CEOs in the room, distinguished delegates from private sector and government, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon. The AI for Disability project really marks a decisive shift. We are shifting from inclusion as an aspiration to inclusion by design. It brings together a powerful coalition. Disability experts such as KISE, Enable, and AT4D, innovation leaders like Kala, and global technology partners, including Huawei, united to address real, lived challenges that are faced by persons with disabilities. Together, we are not merely identifying barriers, we are co-creating practical, scalable hardware and software solutions that expand access, restore dignity, and unlock opportunities. As government, we are also deliberately re-engineering our systems that were earlier developed to be inclusive by design, embedding accessibility in our digital infrastructure, platforms, and services from the outset, rather than retrofitting after we have developed. This initiative is a clear expression of our AI strategy that we launched last year in action. We are leveraging national assets, our Konza data center, to power innovation, and our digital hubs across the country to ensure these solutions reach, train, and empower those who need them most. Ultimately, this is about unlocking talent that has been excluded for far too long, and ensuring that as we build our digital economy, we do so inclusively, deliberately, at scale, by design. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much indeed. And before you take your seat, we'd like to call other partners to come forward so that we can take that memorable photo. I'd kindly request, let's have, of course, Honorable Cabinet Secretary joining us upstage. Makofi yake tafadhali. Karibu sana. We'll also have the PS, State Department for Broadcasting and Telecommunications, Bwana Stephen Isaboke, karibu sana. Let's also have Dr. Norman Kiogora, Director, Kenya Institute of Special Education, Dr. Shiko Gitao, CEO, Khala, Bernard Chira, CEO and founder and CEO, Assistive Technologies for Disability Trust, Irene Mbari Kirika, founder and executive director in ABLE, and finally Adam Lane, Director for Policy and Partnerships, Huawei Kenya. Makofi yao, a big round of applause for them as they take the center stage for that memorable photo. Give me sound right there as we appreciate this moment. Karibu sana, karibu sana. Welcome, 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 welcome. There we go. Thank you so much. And this deserves a standing ovation because we're talking about inclusion. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Asante sana. And the students as well. We have students. Students, let's have the students joining the photo session as well. Students, where are you? Where are you, the key students? Honorable Cabinet Secretary, just John, please, before you take your seat, Irene, we have some students. Honorable CS, apologies for that. Thank you so much indeed. Join in, join in, join in. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And if you're able to give me sound on the other side, I'll really appreciate, because this evening, ICTA CEO, board chair, oh, we can't miss this photo. Please come, please come, please come. And the sound team, give me that sound, give me that sound. There's something here. The ministers, cabinet secretaries, ministers, please come forward, please come forward, please come forward, please come forward, because this is for Africa. Aha, South Sudan, well represented. Come forward, come forward, come forward, come forward. Thank you so much. Come forward, come forward, come forward. Esther Malois, are you here? All right, thank you so much. Okay. Now, you've got to show us some Kenyan rhythm. Everybody, let's just be upstanding. All the Kenyans, where are you? We've got to show Africa. Absolutely. Hey, thank you, Honorable Cabinet Secretary. Fantastic, you can't stand. Where is Liz? Liz, John. Cynthia, come on. Show them something, because this evening, let's go. That's how you do it. Everybody. Hey, hey. Woo. Everybody. There we go. This evening. Back way. Honorable Cabinet Secretary, Asante Sana. Well done. Well done, well done. We are ready to kick off the closing ceremony. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it has been an incredible honor having this session. If we can go to the main, let's go to the main. Our final video of the day as we get to the closing remarks. Just open it. The final one lesson you can learn from Kenya. Open it, open it, open it. As you run on the race, if you're hit when you're running, use that as a force. Sometimes it's not enough to run, sometimes you've got to fly. That's the reality. Distinguished guests, you may fall down, Africa may fall down. Jemima Sumgong fell down, but she picked herself up again. She was bleeding, but she kept running. Picked herself up, kept running, and guess what, ladies and gentlemen? She won that race. And the reason why we play this video, ladies and gentlemen, our Kenyan brother was close to the finish line, but he couldn't make it. But what happened to his other brothers? They were running past him. They wanted titles for themselves. They wanted championships for themselves. But look at his other Kenyan brother, close to the finish line, decides to stop, pick up his brother, and finish the race together. That is the vision for Africa. Connected Africa Summit. So we are ready, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. And Cynthia,
yes,
your words as we close as well, and then we usher in the final closing ceremony.
My final words?
Yeah.
I think this is just the beginning, because we've done so much in the last 4 days. We've shown that every single African represented here, and those who are not even present, are actually willing to go the extra mile. So I do not see why not. That is the only thing I have for them. It's the different layers, each working together, not a battlefield, but together, collaboratively.
Wow. We really appreciate the honor. It was an honor indeed serving you to lead us through the closing ceremony. Please put your hands together for the Regional Senior Director, Cloud Applications, Business and Global Business Unit, PS Industry Africa, Oracle, Flora Kangebe. Makofi yake tafadhali, karibu sana. Then we will be guided. Immediately after that, we'll have, of course, the CEO, ICT Authority of Kenya, Bwana Jesse Maruti. If Madam Flora is not here, I'd kindly request the ICT Authority CEO, Bwana Jesse Maruti, to take charge. Makofi yake tafadhali. Welcome.
Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Information, Communication and Digital Economy, Honorable Kaboko, Honorable Ministers, Cabinet Secretaries present across Africa, distinguished delegates, good afternoon. Good afternoon. As we come to the close of the Connected Summit 2026, I wish to express my deepest appreciation to all of you for your presence, your insights, and your commitment to shaping Africa's digital future. Our message is clear. Africa's digital transformation is now about execution. Digital infrastructure remains the foundation, enabling seamless integration, scaling innovation, and ensuring inclusive access for all. Our task ahead is to turn commitments into action, partnerships into results, and ambitions into impact. Let this summit mark a turning point from dialogue to delivery towards one connected and inclusive Africa digital market. Thank you, and it is my honor, distinguished guests, to welcome Honorable Lily, the Chair of ICT Authority, to come and give you remarks. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Your Excellency, Honorable C.S. Kaboko, all our African ministers, our PSS, our industry players, our sponsors, Our delegates who honored us to attend this meeting, our staff from the ministry and other ministries here in Kenya, allow me to say good afternoon. I was here in the morning, Your Excellency, to speak about inclusion of women in digital economy. And this afternoon, I don't have much to say except to mention just two things. That is, Africa rises and takes its place in the global digital space. Let it be said that we chose to build differently, that we chose to build together and to build with women in leadership and to start with them. Let us leave this session committed to creating a digital space, digital economy, where every one of us participates and every one of us lead and practice what we've had. May God bless you so much. Take care of yourself, and as you go back home, take our greetings to other African countries, and always welcome to Kenya when need be. Thank you so much. May I take this opportunity now to welcome our BS to take over from here. Welcome, Honorable CEO.
Thank you, Chair. Excellencies, Honorable Cabinet Ministers present, led by our own Honorable William Kavogo, senior government officials, colleagues from private sector and other partners. Mine is very simple. I think we've seen a lot of energy, a lot of discussions around, obviously, Connected Africa, talking everything tech, especially now in the information age. So really, tonight or today is basically to wrap it all, especially how we take it forward. And I think I'll just close my remark by just sharing this famous saying that says, if you want to go far, fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. But in this digital era, if you want to succeed, you have to be connected. You have to be connected, either systems, individuals, countries, and that was the theme of this year's Connected Africa. With those few remarks, I want to welcome my Cabinet Secretary, the Honorable William Kavogo, who will then welcome his colleague, the Minister, to actually come and say his remarks. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Kavogo to give his remarks. Honorable Kavogo, thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. An applause for my colleague there. I know it's been a long 3 days, but it's coming to a closure now, and I know Kenyans are going out there for a holiday tomorrow. I will not keep you even one more minute, although this is also important. Let me first appreciate our two colleagues. Please come to the forward. Let's appreciate this lady and gentleman. A wonderful job. Well done. Asante sana. Mbarikiwe. Asanteni sana. Connected Africa. This is where we are. Let me first say, I truly appreciate the attendance of all of you who have made it this far to bear it with me, because this was all my arrangement. Where things didn't go well, it's the authority. But where things worked, it's truly yours for the asking. We've had very good attendance, and I want us to give a heavy clap to our foreign friends. Friends from across Africa. Attendance was very, very good, and we truly appreciate. Let me say pole to my friend, Tolman from South Sudan. I had told you there's no more work, but I meant there is time for fun today. I think you didn't get that. You know, when I took these guys to State House yesterday, he introduced himself. And the president said, no, it's obvious. You're from the South Sudan. And I said the day before yesterday, I was asking for who is where. And I saw someone at the back. And I said, obviously, you're from Southern Sudan. They are unique but very good people. Let me truly first appreciate the whole of this team. Can we put our hands together for the sponsors? Without these guys, it would have been very difficult to put this thing together. So we truly appreciate, and we hope that we shall continue to work together for a better connected Africa 2027, which probably, now that we have taken the mandate to go and speak to our continent, we shall have more than half the 54 countries next year. And we have promised that since it's Africa, we may wish to rotate Connected Africa to go to different regions, although under the leadership of Kenya. Kenya imepatiwa uongozi bwana. So we stand very well, but we are not yet there. I don't want to bore you with all the things you've done. You know what you have done this week. But we have promised ourselves that Africa needs no pity from no one. Africa needs to be on the table and not on the menu. Should be on the discussions on the table. And you know, many people are not very happy when we get very united. Remember that we are 1.7 billion people, a serious market, whose population is under the population of Africa. 75% of it is under 30 years. A very huge, vibrant youth where we can create this one digital economy. So truly, let's appreciate the cabinet ministers here. Southern Sudan, a heavy clap. Malawi, a heavy clap. Zimbabwe, a heavy clap. Angola, Republic of Guinea, our brothers, Republic of Uganda, Burundi, Rwanda, the ambassador was here, and many others. I can see Republic of Chad. And I've been given an invitation to travel freely to these countries without a visa. But we should strive to make sure that Africa doesn't require visas from Africans. So with those few remarks, allow me to invite my brother, Dr. Shadrach, from Malawi, to come and close the seminar for us officially. Daktari, please.
Good afternoon. The cabinet secretary was whispering to me to say he hopes that it wasn't an ambush that he caused me to the podium. No, Your Excellency, it's not an ambush. It is actually an honor, and I must register that on behalf of my fellow cabinet ministers from the region. that you could accord us that opportunity to be here, but also to close the Connected Africa Summit 2026. Thank you very much for that. In a special way, Your Excellency, Cabinet Secretary, Honorable William Kabongo, my fellow ministers from the region, deputy ministers, delegates, and I have senior government officials from the Republic of Kenya, but also from our countries, sponsors, and also technical people, delegates who are gathered here. Let me begin by saying that, and let me warn you, my speech will be very short because I've written it myself. Sometimes when we get speeches written by our technical class, they become too long, and sometimes we fail to. But this one I've written myself. Thank you very much. So, Your Excellencies, we came to Nairobi with many plans, but we are leaving Nairobi with a clear promise, and there is that one promise. Our promise is to act as a continent. Today is the 4th day. We have talked about uniting Africa innovation for an inclusive digital market. We have looked at all strategies we already have, like the Agenda 2063, the Digital Trade Protocol, the AI strategies. But we have agreed that we don't need new papers at all. What we need is action. And you are going to agree with me. What we need is what? What we need is what? No more papers. We need to act to be connected, to act to do things together. So, Your Excellency, you will allow me just to summarize, to briefly share with the people here what we have decided to do. Number one, we have decided that we will move forward with the African Continental Free Trade Area digital trade rules. In that regard, we will reduce high roaming charges across borders. We will bring together regional efforts to create one network, Africa network. That will help us build African digital single market. Number two, we will build digital roads together. We are talking of fiber, satellite, data centers, exchange points. Number three, we will prepare a single continental connectivity master plan to connect all our countries. These are the resolutions that we will come up with. We need a plan to achieve our ambitions of becoming one digital market. Number four, together, we will find the money for the projects that will make us achieve this one Africa, one digital market together. So we will be approaching, just as the Cabinet Secretary said, we want, as we approach our development partners on the table for discussion, we should approach them with one united, strong voice. So that we are going to do it together. Number five, digital skills. We will facilitate and ensure that we train our people especially in the new technologies, AI and others. And as we do that, we will not leave anyone behind. Women will be included. The youth will be included, but also those that are marginalized, those with a disability like mine, because wearing glasses is a disability, by the way. No, wearing glasses is disability. And finally, if not finally, yes, finally, we have agreed that Connected Africa Secretariat shall be hosted by Kenya. And you know what that means, to host. I must thank you, and please also register on behalf of us from the African continent ministers here for the initiative. This is the 15th time that you are hosting this, and that indeed takes great commitment. And we thank the people of Kenya for leading the way. So in that respect, the Connected Africa Secretariat will be hosted here in Kenya, but the summits themselves will be revolving around the African continent. That is one of the resolutions that, on your behalf, as Africa, we agreed to take. So, as we end, I can do this as many times as I can, because it is good, it is African to do it. Let me thank you, Honorable Cabinet Secretary, and your people. You have led us with warmth and strength. Now we must go home and work, isn't it, my fellow cabinet ministers? Are we not going back home and work? We are going back home and work, isn't it? We will not finish everything tomorrow, but if each one of us takes one step together, we will cross the whole continent. The world is watching. Let us speak with one African voice. The world is watching. It is watching us. Are we inclusive enough? Are we doing enough to get connected? Are we doing enough to create a digital market? And these are the questions that, as we leave, I will leave them with you to continue to find answers. And therefore, let me have the opportunity, and I would want to invite all cabinet ministers to come in front, because I will be officially closing the summit. So all cabinet ministers and our host, please lead so that you see our commitment as your cabinet ministers from the African continent. Yes. As you can see, we are also inclusive. We are also inclusive. You see the inclusivity there? We have the tallest man and the shortest man. But also we have a woman. Eh?
Yeah. Eh? Wow. Beautiful African appreciation. Thank you so much.
And with that, you will allow me to officially, Cabinet Secretary, our host, will you allow me to officially pronounce what I want to pronounce? That the Connected Africa Summit 2026 is officially closed.
Wow.
May God bless Africa.
Ladies and gentlemen, the session wraps up here in Nairobi. where there's a clear consensus among African ministers on the need to fast track a harmonized ICT accessibility standards. For the continent, the expected gains include a more inclusive digital economy, smoother cross-border deployment of technology, and stronger alignment in ICT regulations. After successfully hosting the 15th edition of the Connected Summit Africa here in Nairobi, Kenya has made quite the position, so to speak, in as far as being in the center of the process. And going forward, the Connected Summit, the Connected Africa Summit Secretariat will be hosted right here in Kenya going forward, with the conferences set to be rotational among African countries. So this is a take-home from the resolutions in this 15th edition of the Connected Africa Summit. We want to thank each and every person who made this particular broadcast possible. The Kenya Broadcasting Corporation has been the main media partner. Now we take you back to Broadcasting House for normal programming. But before then, maybe we can just give you an executive summary of what it means to have successfully hosted this particular summit here. For Kenya, the outcome positions the country at the center of the process, both as a contributor to shaping the standard through the Kenya Bureau of Standards, as well as a potential hub for scaling accessible digital solutions across the region. Stakeholders who for the last 4 days have questioned how connected Africa is and what outcomes are expected, with now the focus being on implementation, aligning national policies and setting clear timelines, as well as ensuring that we are in compliance without slowing innovation. A call to action that marks a significant step, and the pace of delivery will ultimately determine its impact. Now from the Edge Convention Center, where we have been bringing you the live broadcast of this particular summit, we want to hand you back to the National Broadcaster Headquarters for normal programming with the lunchtime news this Thursday afternoon. I'm Regina Manyara. Have a pleasant viewing ahead.
Habari nako. Baba Josh uko sawa? Ni wenda wazimu wawili ambao walichukua tito didi yangu. Buda.
Mimi ningoje hadi maisha yako ikuwe poa ndio yangu ianze.
Sijui nani alimuiba Zawadi.
Je, Mandi? Wananambia nipiganie kiti hiki. Sawa. Wamekufuza?
Chief, I feel like I'll run mad nikisikia kitu kimemfanyikia Zawadi. Hello? Narudi sasa hivi.
Mama ametuacha.
Kifo akina huruma.
Alipotea aje? Alibiwa mkiwa wapi?
Pedestrian precautions. Stay safe on foot. Do not attempt to walk through moving flood waters. Use footbridges or elevated paths where possible. Avoid open manholes, drains, and slippery surfaces. Stay visible. Wear bright clothing at night. In case of emergency, call the numbers on your screen.
Good afternoon and welcome to KBC's Lunchtime News. Today our focus will be on the main stories that are currently making headlines at this hour, including the currently concluded Connected Africa Summit 2026. You've just heard a little bit earlier on from Regina Manyara. We'll be giving you details of that and so much more, including a function held at State House Nairobi, spearheaded by President William Ruto. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. Stick around for the next 1 hour or so to get the latest in the country and beyond our borders. We'll start off with President William Ruto, where he has awarded world marathon record holder Sebastian Sawe with a whopping 8 million shillings and a custom-made car number plate following his victory over 1 hour, 59 and 30 seconds after he came only the first man in history to break the 2-hour barrier. The record holder returned home last night to a heroic welcome and was hosted to a state breakfast today morning. Sawe became the first man on the planet to dip under 2 hours in a marathon after he clocked 1 hour, 59 minutes and 30 seconds.
Kenyan Sebastian Sawe made history at the London Marathon, becoming the first man to run